everybody, welcome back to Animal Cross Every Day. Not basket weaving as I tried to pretend it was yesterday. That was a lie. Although, I would like to educate everybody about the wonders of basket weaving. I think it is a lost art that people need to pay more attention to, and maybe we should have been basket weaving right from the start. That's what I think, and I'd like to go into that in today's episode. Basket weaving. So if you will indulge me for a moment, let me just start the show by looking at my letters. These are my letters. Press the wrong button, but let's have a look. And we'll talk about basket weaving. Now, I think yesterday I called it basket whiskers. That was a mistake. I did not mean to call it basket whiskers. Okay, let's be real here. All right, let's get everything straight. It's not basket whiskers. We have a special offer today, a stunning writing chair. As always, we have a wide variety of other items as well. Why not stop by? Excellent idea. And who is this? Current design earns 41,000 points. You can see that you are a good boy who has an excellent design philosophy and nice face. Signed, the HRA. Well, thank you very much, fellows. That's very sweet of you. Very, very sweet. So let me tell you about what I think about basket weaving, right? Mr. Flamingo. I think that we should all learn how to weave baskets, right? Now, you're probably going to say right now, don't be silly. Why would I want to weave a basket? Well, I feel like there are many benefits for basket weaving, all of which we have neglected as humans, and we should go back and remember. Because I think that they're very important. I think that basket weaving is a skill that has fallen out of fashion. Like a moment ago, you just said you thought it was stupid. That's what I'm talking about. It's not stupid. Everybody makes it seem like it's stupid, but it's really a very important skill to have, and I would like to explain why, if you would be willing to indulge me. So, I think that, first of all, it's very good for your dexterity. I think that basket weaving is a good idea because that way you can like use your fingers better. Do you know what I mean? You can use it to just be better at crafting, which I think is a very good skill. For example, if you wanted to sew or become a experimental heart surgeon, having basket weaving experience might be a good idea. You know what I mean? It would help with your finger strength, your ability. It also helps with your patience as well, I think. Basket weaving, because you don't just weave a basket. You don't just look at a basket and go goo, 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 goo. I mean, you could, but you'd be wasting your time doing that. You really should spend more time actually weaving it. And then when you do, there's like a sense of self-satisfaction. Afterwards, you look at the basket you weaved and you go, I weaved that, I did that, I made that. And it's practical. It has a purpose, it has a use. You can use it for things. The basket. You can use it to carry things in, you know? So, for example, not that long ago, there was a big problem with paper bags. Plastic bags, I suppose. Paper bags are fine. But plastic bags, there was a big problem where not that long ago there were so many plastic bags just roaming the countryside because people weren't disposing of them properly, but also people didn't know how to dispose of paper bags properly. Like there's a bit of a problem with the disposal of plastic. That's a real problem these days, is that there's so many different types of plastic. It's very hard to dispose of it all in an efficient manner. A plastic bag is made up of different plastic than a Coke bottle, for example. There's different, like, you know, the plastic on your phone is different from some other kind of plastic. So people find it very hard to recycle these plastic bags, but there were also lots and lots of plastic bags around. It was very hard to catch them all. They were very fast. They would get on the wind and then run away. Very hard to be able to find these plastic bags. So there was a real problem here, and I feel like now they solved the problem. in a typical capitalist manner, they solved the problem by charging 5p for a plastic bag. I think I might have gone up to 10p, I'm not sure. But that way, you have to pay in order to buy a plastic bag in a shop. And that encourages people to bring their own plastic bags with them. Now, and of course, that's a very capitalistic way to solve the problem. Because if there's a problem, we have to charge money for it, and then the problem's solved, right? But to me, that's not the problem solved, because the plastic still exists and more bags are still being produced. In essence, we haven't fixed the problem. We've slowed down the problem. We haven't fixed the problem. Less bags are being used, but bags are still being made and produced and sold for money. But if you weaved your own wicker basket, then you would have your own little basket. You know, it could just be a little hand card basket, you know, with a little handle on it. You know, a lovely little basket that you could bring to the shop yourself. And that way you could just fill it up with whatever you need and take it home again. No need for a bag, right? They would also eliminate the need of a trolley, because if you had a wicker basket with you, you wouldn't need to go and pay a pound for the trolley. You could just put all your items in your wicker basket. It's not a difficult situation to understand, but it's a very logical and achievable kind of thing where you can just use a wicker basket. You remember those old-timey bicycles that used to have the little baskets on the front, and people would ride their bicycles into town, and they would put every item they need from the shop into their basket. They could detach the basket from the front of the bicycle, go into the shop, fill it up with items, then come out of the shop, put it on top of the bicycle, on front of the bicycle, and go home again. You know what I mean? Like, that people did that, and it worked. That was a good system. And at some point, somebody fooled everybody into thinking, no, you need more stuff. A little basket isn't going to be enough. You need to bring your car, because a car has a very large boot. A boot, for anybody in America or the United States or in a different country, a boot is like a trunk. The trunk of your car is what we in the UK would call your boot. I like the word boot better than the word trunk. It sounds better. It sounds nicer. So people got fooled into thinking, and I imagine they got fooled into thinking this by the car companies. They got fooled into thinking that you have to have a boot full of stuff when you go shopping. Again, a capitalist society, who would have thought that somebody said you need to fill your car full of food and items and toys and everything else. Every week you have to do a shopping run that fills your entire car full of things. It's the only way you're going to be able to satisfy your family properly. And this problem reinforces the fact that A, you're supposed to go to a shop and spend lots and lots of money, and B, that you're supposed to drive to the shops. You're supposed to bring your car, because a wicker basket on a bicycle wouldn't be big enough to hold all of your stuff. So you need to drive to the supermarket in your big car and purchase a lot of items, so much so that it justifies you having your big car. And this eliminates the idea of having better public transport and more cycle lanes, which of course would be more beneficial for a city and for the world. So you can see why wicker baskets are really, it seemed like an inconsequential thing to talk about, but really it's part of a bigger conversation, especially now whenever we are coming close to, well, we're not coming close to it, we're in the midst of global warming and the climate crisis, and how the world is getting hotter in the hot times, and colder in the cold times. There's problems with everything. We're running out of diesel, but we've also used way too much diesel, fossil fuels. We've used way too many of them. And I feel like we need a change. And the first change starts with wicker baskets. I know it sounds silly because I'm always silly on the show. But legitimately, say, now I live out in the country, so that's why we have a car. But like, let me break it down real quick. If you live in a city, I think that there's no need for so many cars in the city, because you could use simple transport like trams to get around the outskirts of the city, and then walk and cycle in the midst of the city, and that would A, clean up a lot of the environment, B, it would get people walking again, C, it would reduce traffic significantly, and traffic makes people late and it makes people angry because they get a lot of road rage. But if you eliminate these things right off the bat, you make a better town that people want to spend more time in. The tram could be run by electricity, for example. It's very easy to get around the trap of more diesel. Like, I like the idea of a bus, but I feel like we need to... Again, if we're getting rid of a lot of the cars, you can probably have a couple of buses that are running on diesel. But I would prefer it if we could get rid of that that reliance on these fuels. But it's doable. I feel like it's doable. Oh, I need to write another letter. Write a letter. And if you live out in the country, you could easily, drive to a point, or even like get up a bus or a shuttle that would take you from your house towards the outskirts of a town or a city, and then from there get the tram or like a little monorail or something that goes around the city to big major points, while you can walk the rest of the way or cycle the rest of the way. You know what I mean? I would have cycle points available for everybody. I think that this is very achievable, and like I said, this all stems from wicker baskets. If we use wicker baskets instead of using the car boot in order to go and feed our family, then we would have less reliance on cars. We would think about this kind of thing a lot more, and we wouldn't be so stressed out all the time. All it takes is like a little change that leads into bigger change, right? And that's always been the way. It's the little things that can change and turn into the big things, right? You start small, you start with baby steps, and you work your way up. And I believe that if we all learned how to use wicker baskets, and it's also it's a very good skill, because, for example, how many people right now know how to make wicker baskets, right? Not that many. But all it would take is a handful of like government courses, right? Government gets the people who make wicker baskets and say, all right, teach a class of 30 people. And they do. And those 30 people can go and teach other people how to make a wicker basket. It's simple. The price of wicker will go up. Wicker, of course, or wood, or any of those reeds, things like that, they're biodegradable. You could say that it might have a negative effect on deforestation and getting the materials needed for the wicker basket. I would argue that is a problem, but I feel like that problem is negated by the good things that would happen from relying on wicker baskets more than your car boot. You know what I mean? I think that if we all focused on using baskets instead of bags, and baskets and bikes instead of cars, and even if some of people did, if people in the city focus more on bikes and baskets over cars and bags, then there's a change right there. There's a significant change of turning a city into more of a localized kind of thing that you can walk around. And for people in the country like me, we could just drive a car toward the outskirts of the city, park it, and then walk into town. Because again, if you've got a wicker basket, you can whatever you buy, you can carry it back with you in your basket. They're very sturdy, they're reliable, they're very useful. So vote for me, and I will change the world for the better. Okay. I'm gonna wrap things up here. We were talking about wicker baskets for longer than I thought we would. But what I'm saying to you is that change is possible. It's achievable. And people will tell you that change isn't possible and isn't achievable. And the people who will tell you that are the people who benefit the most from the world going to hell. And I don't think those people should be in power. I feel like we can make a real difference. I know this is just a silly Animal Crossing video that 3 people watch, but you know, if you watch this video, even if nobody else watches this video, if you tell other people the ideas you heard in this, and then they tell other people, like the wicker basket idea, then we can make a difference and we can change the world in a legitimate, real fashion. And I think we can do that. Anyway, goodbye. I'm sorry. Hopefully, because I'm so silly all the time, I know you won't believe any of the stuff I just said, but I really do mean that. I think we can change for the better. So, tomorrow's episode will be more silly, but today's episode is very serious. So, thank you very much for listening. I'll see you later.